What's up guys, it's Double O Roadkill here with another video. In today's video we're playing Planet Coaster, and can I just say, it's been a long time since we've been in this, but now we are back, we're getting into things, and as you can see on screen, and from the title of the video, we have started our roller coaster. And I will say in the beginning, when I was searching through, I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to do a wooden or an RMC. For those that don't know, an RMC it stands for Rocky Mountain Construction, but it's a wooden and steel hybrid roller coaster. Basically, what I'm saying is it's a roller coaster with it's like a wooden roller coaster with modern day roller coaster assets. So like, can go inverted and stuff, and like do cool flips and rolls and stuff. Yeah, that's what an RMC is. I actually don't think you can go and do a loop, but yeah. Anyways, that's an RMC for you. So right now we're trying to think of like a cool way to do this, but we kept having a problem where we would like try to do that loop that I was talking about, and it just would not allow it. So I was like, okay, we'll just find another way to balance this out. So we decided we're gonna still try to keep that roll effect, and we end up doing a roll turn, which will cause us to kind of veer into one direction. But I didn't want it just to turn back into the station. So I turn it away from the station during that roll, then I bring it back up so we can do some crazy sideways turn. Most of the beginning of this is kind of like experimenting around, seeing what I can do. This is like the first time I'm really getting into really working on a coaster for the pure purpose of it looking nice. Most of the time, like, I do have a few examples in one of the parks that I fool around in. Before I record videos on here, stuff I just experiment with. So I do have some good coasters, but those are just for the sole sake of screwing around, trying out new ideas and stuff. But anyways, we're back into talking about this. You see that kind of big rise we do up there, then it comes back down, and how to put it, when you're going up, you're upside down in that fall, so it kind of adds some weird stuff. And then, yeah. What else is there really for me to say about this coaster? We go up hills and then down hills, and then we do some banks and stuff. Most of the stuff I'm describing right now, you'll end up getting to see on the POV whenever I finish up the rest of the stuff around it. But yeah, I am going to be doing a POV of this because I was going to wait till the park is finished and then go around the park. But I don't know. I'll tell you what. If you're watching this, in the comments down below, please tell me whether you'd want to see this at the very, very end when everything is put in, or if you want to see it now. Yeah, we'll let that go through. But yeah, right now we're just working on this and trying to make everything else work. We're watching the coaster as it goes by, seeing how all the angles look, and we kind of realize things aren't looking too perfect in the spot we have it, but we'll deal with that a little later. But right now we're just trying to get the coaster placed around. We try to do some more cool effects where we go over this one side completely inverted, and then we go for a turnaround, which will bring us back around. A lot of this ends up changing in the final design, which you won't actually get to see until we get to the second half of this. Funny enough, I was actually almost not going to upload this, just because I couldn't find a way to really finish this off. I actually recorded this about a month ago, but was put at such a dead end that I could not figure out how to finish it, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, this is kind of why this video took so long. In total though, I also, another thing off topic a little bit, notice this entire video is like at 8 times speed. Believe it or not, it's super fast. This was actually 2 hours of recording, shortened down into like 5 minutes. But yeah, right now we're just trying to smooth things out, trying to make stuff a little cleaner. We're going by the 4-part smooth technique. If you don't know what that is, you basically click on a piece, go up 4 and smooth it out, and it'll make the ride be a lot better. Of course, sometimes it doesn't work to the way you want it to, and sometimes you have to still fool around. If you're just doing like a completely clean roller coaster that isn't doing too many flips and stuff, it works really well. If you're not doing that, it can really kind of mess with the roller coaster, and it really, how do I put it? It's kind of questionable in what it does. Also, yeah, that kind of tells you how old that video is, just by that things. All right. Anyways, where are we? So we are just finishing up some of the smoothing around here. By the way, this kind of tells you that none of this stuff is scripted. I really should at some point try to write down the script and read off of it, but most of this is just free flowing through my head while I'm talking, and yeah. But yeah, right now we're just trying to smoothen all of this out, and the bank is kind of weird. We end up working with it a little later down the road where we do some more minor adjustments off camera. So that's a thing that we've done a lot of. And we're just cleaning up the rest of this roller coaster. And like I said, for some reason, when you go to smooth stuff, it likes to unflip your roller coaster, so it makes things weird, which isn't the best. But for right now, yeah, that's kind of what you're seeing from there. That's the end of that section. Then we come over to where we've moved the roller coaster, believe it or not. The entire roller coaster ends up being completely moved. We moved it to the other side because it actually looks better in the spot that it's at. We also changed the colors up a little bit, and we're just thinking of a name for it, but we don't really have one. What we decided to do, though, is start building off the station. We're going for a brick design building on the station, just because I think this would look better. And we're like filling this up. We're going to have an exit spot for it as well, so of course we're filling up as much as we can, because that's what you got to do. Yeah, we're filling all this, every last bit of it. Yeah. We also have a little exit area over there that we put through, and that's kind of like just for us to leave through, and I think it looks good on its own. We come over here, we start building out this way. That's where we have our little queue spot. But that's not just all that is. It also builds into the building of which our station is. If you notice, that big opening right there is actually the exit of that queue, so it's not exiting through the front, showing that there is more of an entrance. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to work on getting that size to be nice and big, so it fits the four corners cleanly. So then, yeah, this is kind of what you're seeing right now, is just us getting everything sorted away, making sure everything looks clean. And yeah, that's kind of about it with that. Then we go over to the look through the back, try to get stuff kind of set up, but we also got to do some stuff with the ramps. And what I mean by that is we're going to use those little 2x pieces, right? I don't know how to explain it. 2x triangle sections, and we're going to make little brick ramps. So that's something that ends up being done in a minute. But yeah, anyways, when it comes to this, I am kind of stumped on a name. I think I have a name picked out for it, but like, I don't know if I want to keep that name, or if you guys think you have a better name, let me know that name. The name that I'm currently with is Afterburn. That is what I want to name the coaster. But anyways, so we're just finishing up the design setup through here. Again, like before, we're just trying to make things look a little nice, a little spick and span. And yeah, most of this time, well, like working on stuff, I'm just watching the roller coaster because that final product looks so amazing, man, I tell you. But yeah, this is what I was talking about before. We're getting those 2x ramps, and we're getting those down. We're placing them all around. I actually end up double layering them so then they would work with the path as well. And you'll get to see that when we bring the path down. We end up having a few troubles with it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but when we're going through it, you can see the trouble. Like, it wouldn't line up at first. We had to take a few tries to get it right. And like, so that was kind of weird. Planet Co has some weird stuff with that. I don't know how to explain it. So we had to like try to work it a few times to try to see if we could make it work, and we finally got it to work. Now what you're seeing us do in a minute is we're going to be doing a cool little section where it goes underneath the ride and goes and swings over, where you have an interactive section with the queue where you can see the roller coaster whiz past in that corner that, if you remember before, wasn't that sharp of a bankment. That was some of the off-camera work that we did. Now we're trying to like get stuff kind of cleaned up and stuff around here, but we don't know exactly how to do that. So we take a few tries, and then when we look at the final product, it doesn't look that clean. So we end up just like working through a little more. Another thing that we do is we kind of clear up some of the stuff. We did a path work on some of those sides because they kind of look a little bad. But before we do that, we first branch out a little spot over here where we're going to have a little plaza area where we can get foods and drinks as well as to the roller coaster. So what we do is we go into the grid form and we start setting all of that up. And yeah, that's kind of everything that's put together. As you can see, we have that nice lineup right there. Then we just connect the path like that, and we're good to go there. We can still do our plaza and everything as needed. But yeah, that's just to connect the paths up to look a little nicer. Then, of course, we do our exit path, which we're trying to look for the right size for it. We bring that to its right size, the right thing. And then we make our exit. Now, when it came to this little overhaul, this was a little unique. It's kind of strange how this worked. So it wouldn't do the one section snap, so we had to like build it up double times up, except we do a stair, then a ramp, then a stair down to try to give it a nice look. But it did not look good the first time, so we really had to work with it to get it to get kind of nice. And when we got it, yeah, it looked really good. As well as that, I decided I wanted to put a little photo booth right on the end of it. You know, like when you're on a roller coaster, right? You get off and there's like the little photo section. You'll take a picture from when you looked your worst on the ride because you were petrified and probably screaming your head off. That is some Disney World flashbacks for me. Rock and roller coaster. But anyways, so we end up putting the little photo booth in there, and it has its own little spots connected to the ride. Therefore, all that's taken care of. I'm watching this section right here where, yeah, when you're on the path, you can watch that coaster whiz past, and it just looks so good. When we get to the live cam, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Anyways, we start working on a little bit of the building right now. And what we're doing for the building is we kind of want to keep that modern brick design, kind of make it look like it's been in the park for a long time. It's like one of the first coasters in the park. It's kind of the idea, even though technically the RMC has been around only since 2016, I think, was when the first one was made. Which, if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments for that. Anyways, yeah, now we're starting on the building. Like I said, I wanted to go for that modern brick design. And yeah, we do a little bit of arching in some areas, do some build-ups, but none of that's going to make sense until we really get into it, which is what we're kind of doing. What I decided to do is kind of like what I did before with the restaurants. I use those little window pieces that you're seeing right there on that building, these little windows on the ride. What I want to do is separate the ride from the queue, which is kind of like that, basically what you're seeing right there. Separating the ride from the queue entirely. So we're putting those windows there to kind of put stuff together. Now I put a solid wall in the back because I actually want that wall to be covered up, so as the walls that are around that one mementos thing. Yeah. All right. But yeah, we're trying to put some of these walls up around there, and then we also want to do a little bit of arch working for that bridge that we've made, so then it kind of looks like a clean tunnel. The idea is we wanted to do a overlap that would kind of be the entrance to the tunnel that would take you back to the station. So that is the idea behind that, and that actually works out really well in the final product. So that was actually really nice, and you get to see how that gets built. We use the ×1 sticks as well as those ×2 sticks, which sticks as in like ramps. I don't know. I'm calling them sticks, I guess. But yeah, we end up doing that. Afterwards, we start finishing up the rest of the ride. We put up these little brick walls around, and then do our little entrance arcs that you always see on roller coasters, because you got to have that closed area too. So that ends up going kind of well. I like how that goes. And yeah, afterwards we're just putting up kind of like the final walls, except in some areas we had to get rid of some of the ramps because it does not look too clean when you have that wall there. So I had to clean that up a little bit. I decided to take off all those walls here actually, except for a few. And that's because I want the back to be just as open as I want the front to be. As well as that, we also do a spot for just the person that's behind the little booth. Make her own room, so then she can watch the ride go and go, like come and go. So I think that looks really cool on its own. I really like how that turned out, actually. Like I really like how that turned out. Anyways, now we get the little brick wall over here to cover this part up again, because the roller coaster has its little tunnel that it goes through. So that's kind of what all of that is for. And then we also want to cover up this area so there's really only room for the queue and maybe a spot for the handicap zone, which is seen a lot when it comes to coasters, which is why I'm using it. But yeah, kind of how to put it like this. I cannot speak today. My inspiration, there we go, that's the word. My inspiration from this is some of the UK parks. A lot of people have shown me from UK parks that they kind of have these brick buildings on a few of the roller coasters. It's more to fit the modern and cheaper look, which is what I'm going for. So yeah, that's the whole thing behind that, and I do like this look. I think it looks really cool. What we're doing right now is just filling up the rest of that station, trying to get all of our wooden lineups underneath. We try to put underneath, that doesn't really work. So we're like, alright, so none of that works, cool, we'll just go past it, and we start filling up the next room. Like I said before, we want to get all the wooden pieces on this covered up and get them taken care of. And then, yeah. Next up, we're just making sure that we have that little tunnel wall thing set up the way we want it to. We do kind of a half hole and then a hole on the top of that. That's not going to make much of any sense, but it's hard to explain it any other way. Afterwards, yeah, you also get to see something that we did before when walking into the park. That was also off screen. We made our own sign, which you get to see the off-brandingness in that when that comes by, basically meaning see how funny that looks. But yeah, alright, so what we're doing right now is trying to make this a little closer together, so it actually kind of looks more like a tunnel, and that's when we start filling stuff in. Yeah, so you can kind of see us filling everything in right now. That's that tunnel that they go through. Looks kind of cool. You already kind of see it coming together, and yeah. So the whole thing with this is still following that unique design though, because like I've said before, I always try to go for a unique design, a unique kind of style, and that's what I want to go for. This one, it's kind of hard going for that unique design with also keeping that modern brick. Modern brickwork is always the hardest, I think, when it comes to design work, because you're always trying to keep it looking nowadays sleek, which is simple styled buildings, but also trying to give it your own work to it. Basically give it your own name is what I'm getting at. So that is kind of the tough thing about that. But yeah, now what we're doing is we're just filling in everything down below here and then starting on the roof. Now, when it came to the roof, we first wanted to fill up everything up top here, and we did not actually want to connect the overhark with the part of the building. That little ramp section is actually going to be outside of the building. That was kind of the idea design that we had, but right now we are filling up to the top of this, and most of this is not too much of complexity. More or less, we're just filling up the top. There's really nothing too special about it. But we leave one section open just to give it our own little touch, and then we go through the rest of it, and then we just fill stuff up. So yeah, that is its own little touch right there. Afterwards, we kind of want to figure out how to do some like cool stuff, because how'd I put it? The little hold up on the station right there, where it doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a weird hold that isn't there that we want to fix, so we kind of fix it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to that part, I guess. So yeah, right here, what you're seeing is we are trying to find something that will hold up that rooftop from the bottom instead of just hanging out. And we decided to go for these wooden little walk pieces that you're seeing right here. At first we wanted to do one apart from the other to see if that would look nice. The problem is that would be uneven, and there wasn't really a way to really fix that, so we just decided to put them all next to each other. And it still comes off looking really good. We make sure that everything's coming together, make sure that still fits with the path and everything. And yeah, it comes out really well. There's a low battery that happens here, but it does not last very, very long. You don't really miss much of anything. So yeah, it just comes down to when we had to name something and check some stuff. So all that you're really seeing here is us replacing, or you can kind of see us replacing the bottom. And we put that out of the way when we're doing it. And then yeah, you can kind of see us just refilling in the bottom. What had happened was I was one out on that section and it looked really, really bad. So I fixed that and it looks a lot better after that. So yeah, afterwards we start going to the final part of this build, which is going to be the rooftop. Now for the rooftop, I wanted to bring back those little crusty little metal ceilings with a little bit of rust on them. Oh, you know which ones I'm talking about. The ones that look terrible on our restaurants until we fixed them. Yeah, so we're using those ceilings. But first we got to put up our little height differences and kind of make the ceiling our own again. So, because, like I've said before, to make it your own, you have to kind of change the simple design and make it different throughout the build. So of course that is what we are trying to do. We realize that our height is kind of off, so therefore we fix our problems with the ceilings and stuff. And yeah, we just start continuing with stuff and filling up this, so we can then go to the building the roof. Yeah. Sorry for my awkward pauses from today. I am a little bit tired while recording, but we are pushing through to still put out this video. Yeah, long week. Anyways, so we are putting up the rest of this, and then we are just filling up these little inner pieces. There's really nothing much to say about that. That's about it. Then we go over to those ceilings we were talking about, which end up taking us a little bit of time to find, but once we find them, it's all said and done there. And then we just have to fill in the rest. But yeah, you're kind of still watching me get a little off topic right now, from late night recording. But yeah. Yeah, it's getting a little quiet here. We're near the end of everything. Really all you're about to see here is us putting up the rooftops, and then we're just putting on a little bit of the roofing, which we also do a white tile roofing on the top, because I think it actually kind of looks nice in the final product, which you'll get to see. But yeah, that's about all that I have to talk about. So let's get to the final product. Alright guys, we are back, done with the time-lapse, and we are into the live cam now in Summer Crest. Of course, now you can kind of see this big behemoth in all live view, in like, this thing is amazing. If you also notice, there's no one in the park right now. I shut down the park and did a little more extra stuff, making sure that people aren't getting bored in here and that these sidewalks always kind of feel full. Now some of you might be asking if I'll ever do like a small sidewalk, which, I mean, I do every once in a while. The reason I don't, though, is just so then things are kind of flowing. And, like, there's really no need for the small one, because if you put a small sidewalk, then the paths get full. So this is just to kind of save on time, because also there's a limited amount of stuff that you can do in this game. You know, that whole 100% fill, you don't want to fill that up. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing behind that. But anyways, I think we've all been asking the question, when did this come in? And why does it look so jank? And yeah, it does not take a rocket scientist to notice that this don't look too right. But yeah, no, this sign took me about 2 or 3 weeks to make, which is kind of weird, because this does not look like it took too long. It's just that I procrastinate a lot, so it did take that long. So, yeah, and also you can kind of see there's a lot of rough edges on here. I mean, this is my first run on trying to do sign making. Hopefully by the next park I'll be a lot better. If you notice, I haven't really touched this too much. I'm going to get back to this. That much I can tell you. I will get back to this. I'll also make sure that everything is in the right placement, because this still looks pretty bad. Alright, but anyways, that's not what today's video is. Real quickly, I want to show you just... look at that beautiful thing. I might even make this the thumbnail of the video. Just showing that roller coaster right there with the other ride in there, which, if we go around here, we can actually see this in more effect. Now, the reason I added this, and I don't think it was actually ever in, like, the live fame, as well as all of the roofing and stuff, I cut it short, just because I didn't really have anything else to really say about this. But I put this in here just kind of to fill in this spot, because I didn't want to just
upload it with a bunch of trees, because that wouldn't look too good. Especially because I'm going to be putting trees right here to try to shadow out a lot of this stuff over there, and almost make its own kind of fencing. But yeah, this is kind of all that we've done here. I wanted to fill in this spot, so that's kind of what I did there. And yeah, this entire ride looks awesome. My favorite part of it, and it was in the intro to this, sitting right here and watching as the roller coaster just kind of whizzes past on this embankment right here, which that is awesome. By the way, I will have a POV of this out soon. I just want to finish up the rest of the work around here, maybe even fill in some areas over here before I put it out. In fact, actually, like I said in the video, I'm going to reframe it to like right now. Put it in the comments down below if you'd like to see these roller coasters as soon as they're done, or wait till the end of the park while I go through everything that we've done and you can see everything in its finest of details and all of that put together. Kind of like if you're going into the amusement park. Or would you rather just me show you the POV and get it over with, we can go to the next coaster? Comment down below what you want to see when it comes to that, because that is something I actually really want to know, how you guys feel on all of that. Yeah. Also, next episode, we're going to be working on this plaza and making it look just as nice as this one, and technically, I guess you could call what's inside there a plaza, but that is a restaurant, quote-unquote. Yeah, we'll also in the next episode be kind of making the queue a little more nicer, and yeah, then trying to fill out this spot. So I'm gonna really be working kind of, I guess, how I always do, which is going clockwise around the park. There's no way I'm filling up this entire park unless I do really spaced out coasters, because I'm already at 22% of what I can do to this park, and that's just doing all this, so I don't see me filling up this entire park. Now, I will do as much as possible, and then try to finesse stuff once I hit that like 96 mark. I'm just going to be finishing stuff up. And actually, another thing that we'll probably be doing next episode is working on lighting, and that is because if I do this and go to, let's pause that. Let's go to, actually let's go at night, right? So, if you look, there is no lighting in this park whatsoever, except for, of course, these signs here, which isn't a lot. So, like, everything's kind of pitch black in here, which is why we need to put some lighting in here before people start stumbling over this stuff. Because pretty soon I would like to do some, like, night stuff. But, like, this roller coaster, you can't see anything at all in here. Looks like the power went out in the amusement park. So yeah, we are going to be finessing a little bit with that. Maybe get some lighting on the track so stuff looks a little nicer. But yeah, that will all be done in the next episode. If you guys have any suggestions on what to do next, how to make this park look a little cooler, or just ride ideas that you'd like to see in the park, leave a comment down below. Because again, this is stuff that I would like to know so I can improve. So, yeah. Before I go, just look at that tangled mess right here that just works so well. Oh man. Alright, when you guys, either at the end of this whole park, or if you guys want to see it soon, man, I'm just saying, you're going to like this roller coaster a lot. Like, you're really going to like it. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. So, yeah, this is Double O Roadkill signing off.